Good afternoon, ladies, and welcome so much to this wedding seminar on all sorts of aspects of wedding planning. You've already heard about photography, you've heard about choosing your caterer, and today I'm going to talk to you just a little bit about what to do before you go wedding gown shopping. Now, I worked at a local wedding salon, a bridal gown salon, for 3 years. I've had a lot of experience with dozens, if not hundreds of brides from this area and the wedding gowns that they've chosen. Today I'm going to be discussing 3 different aspects of what to think about before you go wedding gown shopping, and they start pretty vague and they narrow down to the specifics. So first off, we're going to discuss considering your context. Then we will look at the feelings or the image that you want to portray on your very special day. And lastly, we will look at some of the specifics and some of the vocabulary that you can use when you chat with your bridal consultant or your bridal stylist at the salon to help convey that feeling, that image, and that context that you want to portray on your wedding day. So first off, we have our context. Context I'm considering in 2 different avenues, and the first is the general feel or the theme of your wedding. Are you going for a romantic but very rustic, casual backyard event? Or are we talking a ball gown on New Year's Eve with a huge disco ball? Those sorts of choices will help influence the choice that you make on the wedding gown that you will wear that evening. Another aspect of the context decisions that have to be made are the 2 currencies that you see in wedding planning. The first of which, of course, is budget. You have to decide what is important to you to spend your budget on. For some people, it's photography over their wedding gown. For others, those are the 2 most important pieces, and they're willing to cut back on other aspects. But having an idea ahead of time of what you're planning to go for with your wedding gown budget, as well as the alterations that need to happen to just about any wedding gown, is a critical part of being prepared for your wedding gown appointment. The other aspect is time. Now, most wedding gown experts, as well as other wedding planning experts in the field, such as the Knot magazine organization, as well as Brides magazine, say to have 8 to 12 months for your entire wedding gown process. Now, I know a lot of you ladies, especially those of you who are getting married later this year, are probably a little bit nervous right now if you haven't found your dress. So don't be afraid. We always have options for those of you that have shorter time frames. I personally have worked with brides who found a dress in less than 3 months before their wedding. We also at my store once had a woman come in and say, "Hi, I need a gown for tonight." So there are always options for you. But in general, with anything to do with wedding planning, the more time you can give to your vendors, the better. Now that we've considered some of the context in these larger, broad decisions that you should be making about your wedding before you even think about the particulars, let's talk about the feelings that you want to portray or just feel it to yourself on your wedding day. When I'm chatting with my brides at the salon and trying to get a feel for what they like, I will often ask them, how do you want your guests to describe you on your wedding day? And I hear different words. I want to feel beautiful, I want to feel elegant. And I look for those specific words so that later, when we're torn between 2 dresses, I can go, now, which one makes you feel more this way or the other way? Some of the words that we might be looking at are whether you want to feel sophisticated, whether you want your wedding to be a natural bohemian event, whether you want to feel romantic. These are different sort of images that different dresses portray in different ways. Now you may be going, this is a lot of thinking ahead of time before just going in and trying on some dresses. Well, let me tell you, when you walk into a gown that has over 150 individual dresses there, we call it snow blindness. They all start looking the same, just another white dress after another white dress. But for us stylists, for us consultants who've been there long enough, every dress has a unique personality. Every dress is its own individual. And so if you can give us these key words, or these key phrases, how you want to feel, or how you want your guests to describe you on your wedding day, we immediately start curating our selection. And we can pull dresses out for you that you would have just gone by going, it's another lace dress, there's some more sparkle, it's another strapless gown. We can pull out a specific one and go, this might be the one for you. So these are some of the words to be considered as you're thinking about what image do you want to portray on the biggest day of your life. Now let's get down to some of the specifics. And here we're going to have a little bit more of the vocabulary that I'm sure several of you have been looking at on your Pinterest boards or seeing on the knot.com, all these different terms that you see when you're wedding gown shopping. So let's talk about Pinterest actually for a moment. Pinterest, in my opinion, is probably the best and the worst thing to happen to wedding planning in general. Why? Because it's amazing. You can find so much inspiration, which is why they call it pinspiration sometimes. So much inspiration, so many ideas, different ways of putting things together that you never would have imagined for yourself. The unseen con to that, though, is that they never show A, the price, B, the location, or C, the designer. So if I'm searching my Hero gowns, which is what I searched to get this screenshot here, it doesn't tell you the price for any of these gowns. You have no idea if these are $30,000 gowns or if they're $800. There's no way to tell for the most part, unless you're just searching within a specific designer or from a specific store in your area. So I always recommend to my brides who are using Pinterest to be looking for underneath specific designers from different places in the area so they know that these dresses are affordable and available to the general bride of Whatcom County, as opposed to a bride of Manhattan. Now, the 4 basic shapes of wedding gowns, and you'll hear these terms bandied about quite a bit in the wedding gown shop, and this is often one of the things that a stylist will ask you at first is, what shape are you looking for in a dress? And first we have our ball gowns, and these are considered to be the Cinderella dresses or the super poofy ones. Moving right along, we have our A-lines, and that's about as classic or traditional as you can get in a wedding dress. The cool thing about the A-lines too, for you ladies who are a little bit unsure about this whole wedding gown thing, these are the most flattering dresses on just about every body type. Then we have our mermaids that have seen a surge of popularity in the last 5 to 6 years or so. And these are the ones that a lot of women are a little bit worried that they will never look good in, but these can be smashing on just about everybody as well. And another trendy style that we've seen, but is repeated since the 1920s, is the sheath or slip style of dress, and basically these are defined by how little structure the gown itself actually has. Now, I know that's a lot of information for all of you to take in. There's a lot of different things to think about, but that's what your stylist is there for. That's what consultants at these stores are here to answer those questions when you're not quite sure what these words even mean, what might look good on you, and what's the best choice for your wedding day. They'll also tell you about different options you can do to modify. This is the same wedding gown in all of these photos. You can do different things to the dresses though, so there are different options for every single gown you might pick. Now ladies, so many things to think about, but I will be available for the next 2 hours after these seminars to answer any of your questions and also to set up appointments with you at my salon. Thank you so much.